Hello, bookworms. Today I'm here with Cassie, and we are doing an end of the year live show. We're just going to be recapping like all of our reading throughout the year, talking about some of our reading stats, and the questions that we're using for this were adapted from Jamie over at the Perpetual Page Turner. She does like an annual end of year survey, and I've been doing it on my blog every year, but I decided that it would be more fun to do it with Cassie. So I used a lot of the questions that Jamie included in hers, and then I also added a couple of questions and took out a couple of questions. And yeah, do you want to say hi?
Hi! I'm drinking out of my skeleton goblet to represent this horrible, horrible year that is now over, almost.
I'm drinking tea today. I'm drinking out of my Fox mug.
That's cute, though.
Pretty much what I drink out of all the time. I have to film some end of the year booktube videos after we do our live show, so that is why I'm sticking to tea. Also, I feel like I might be getting sick, and I don't want to be sick for New Year's Eve.
No, that would be very bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into book stuff. So, Cassie, how many books did you read this year?
Well, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm going to read 100, whether it kills me, because I only have to finish 2, and I'm like halfway through both of them. So I think I'm good.
Yeah, you'll definitely get there.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I have to read 80 more pages of this, which is Love, Life, and the List by Casey West, and then I will have read 125 books.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah. Did you read more this year than last year?
No, I like hit right on 100 again, which like I want to go above that, but we'll talk about more about that at the end.
Yeah. I actually read less books this year than I did last year, but I was looking at Goodreads. I have to like do it again because I want to be certain what the actual number is, but I'm pretty sure that I read more pages this year than I did last year because I was like looking through to figure out what my longest book was, and I read a lot of long books this year.
Honestly, wasn't your like goal like quality over quantity?
Yeah, my original plan had been, I set my Goodreads goal to 75 books because I was like, I really want to focus on like longer fantasy and stuff. And then I like made it in July. And I was like, all right, I'll up it again to 100. So I did that. And I seem to average like, I think 2 years ago, I read like 157 books. And then last year I read like 145-ish. And now, oh no, that was 2 years ago. Then 3 years ago, last year. I'm getting so confused here. Last year I read like 130 something. And now this year I read 125.
So 2018, 100 maybe.
Yeah. I always make my goal 100 because that's just like reasonable for me.
It's a good number too.
It is. I always feel good when I like hit that milestone. What genre did you read the most from?
I was actually surprised. So, Kristen, are you still using that spreadsheet you shared with me?
Yes. So I actually stopped using it about halfway through the year, and then yesterday I filled out the entire thing.
Oh my God, it was like... So Kristen like introduced me to this amazing fucking cat again. This amazing spreadsheet where it like keeps track of everything for you. So all I had to do was go back, and it was like you read 26 fantasy books, and I was like, I did. So like I was shocked to realize how much fantasy I read. Like they weren't all like fantasy, but they had a fantasy element. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, I read a lot of fantasy as well. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like looking at something on YouTube and I got momentarily distracted. I always tend to read pretty evenly between fantasy and contemporary. I would like to read more sci-fi because I do enjoy sci-fi too. I always tend to read sci-fi slower though than other books.
Mm-hmm.
But the past like couple of years, I've always read more fantasy, but it's always like pretty even, like I said. Like I think this year I wrote down the number the other day. I like tallied it up. I read 38 contemporary books and 36 fantasy books. So it's like pretty close. What was your favorite book club of the year that we did?
Favorite book or favorite book club?
book club?
Oh my god, that was the question?
I think so. Did I read it wrong?
No, I read it wrong when I was filling out my sheet.
It's okay, do both. Favorite book club book of the year and favorite book club.
Okay, so I had favorite book that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yes, you did do both. No, wait.
I don't know.
Favorite book club book of the year.
Improvise.
So the best, I think I enjoyed ACOWAR most. I really like talking about it with you. As for favorite book club, that also ties into the least favorite book we read. I'd have to say The Amateurs, because I really just hate talking about a book. Like there's no, I don't know, there's something really great about talking about a book you really hate with someone who also really hated it.
I completely agree. I think that my favorite book club book that we read was Lord of Shadows. And I think actually, so my favorite book club that we did was for Wind Witch, just because we had different opinions on it. So it was fun to like have more of a conversation, because we do tend to like a lot of the same books. So it was just fun to like have me being disappointed and you being like, it was great.
I don't know if I said great. I said it was pretty good.
What was your least favorite book club book of the year?
Oh, definitely The Amateurs. I know it was technically a December book club book from 2016, but we didn't discuss it till January, so I counted it.
Yeah, actually, that's my answer as well.
It was, but with that being said, I'm really excited to hate read the sequel this year. Because it's going to be real bad, and I'm excited.
You have to tell me what happens in it, because I'm just not going to do that to myself.
Okay, I'll just make like a series of like notes for Kristen.
Unless there's like one day when I'm feeling super masochistic and I'm like, okay. But I would be taking it out from the library because it's not good.
Oh yeah, it's on my library wish list. I'm not buying that. I gifted the other one. I like gave it to my coworker. I was like, here, you like Pretty Little Liars, have this piece of garbage. And she was like, okay.
I immediately got rid of mine too. And for every video where I've had to talk about a disappointing book, I'm like, I don't have this book anymore because I had to get rid of it right away.
Threw it into a fire and it's gone forever.
Yeah. What's a book that you were excited for and thought you were going to love, but then didn't?
I have 4 of these.
Oh, wow.
That I had written down because I had a few disappointing reads this year. The first was The Star-Touched Queen. Like, I really thought I was going to love that book, and I did love the first half, and then it took, like, a really hard pivot, and I hated it. The second was Literally by Lucy Keating, which was basically, like, Stranger Than Fiction, the Will Ferrell movie for, like, young adults. And it was so bad, and I hated it, and I wish...
I wanted to read that one, and then after I saw your review, I was like, never mind.
I had so many high... Like, I must have read it the second it came in the mail, and I couldn't. God, it's terrible. Then There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I know we were both like, are you going to talk about that one?
No, that's a good one. I was like, I didn't think about that one. But
I know we were both like super stoked to read it, and like we had been waiting. She's been talking about this book for like 4+ years that she's working on this horror book, and it was a real letdown. And then finally, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which everyone loved. And I was so excited because it's set in this weird alternate universe where you get a phone call like the day you die, so you can kind of like spend your last day doing something useful. And I just, I really wanted to love it, and everyone else did. And I don't know, it didn't relate to it.
Yeah, that one took you a while to get through.
I remember I was reading it on a train, and a woman's like, is what you're reading good? And I was like, She's like, you should put it down. I was like, I only have 100 pages left, lady. Like, stay out of my life.
Just let me live.
Let me live my life.
I only wrote down one book because I already filmed my most disappointing books of 2017 video, which will be coming out like
I'm excited for that
channel. But after you said There's Someone Inside Your House, that reminded me that I did not include that book, which was a total mistake, and I might have to film an extra clip talking about that one today.
I know why you forgot, because you gave me your ARC and then you didn't buy it.
No, I did buy it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because Stephanie Perkins did a launch event for it at McNally Jackson. And I wanted to go and have my other book signed, but I was like, I feel bad going to an author event and not
buying their book
they're promoting. So I bought it anyway, just to like support her because I like her as an author.
It's a great cover.
Yeah, but I didn't like it. But the one that I did put on my list to talk about was An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson.
Which I have not read because everyone seems disappointed by.
Yeah, and it was so weird because when it first, like when the arcs were first being sent out, it had these amazing positive reviews and like everyone seemed to love it. And I had not read a negative review of it. Like I read all of the reviews on Goodreads before I read it, and I was so hyped for it. And then once I started reading it, I didn't like it. And I was like, I'm literally the only person that doesn't like this book. Like, because I read it back in July. I was like, this is so weird. Like, I just don't like it. And I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it so much, but it just like wasn't delivering. And there were a lot of issues that I had with it. And I think it hurt so much because it had so much potential, but it just, the execution was not there. So that made me really sad.
I mean, based on what I've seen, you're not the only one, I feel like, which kind of turned me off from reading it.
Yeah. After I said that I hated it, then I guess a couple of other people started reading it. And then when it was released, I slowly started seeing more negative reviews. And now I would say it's a book where people seem to be really like divided on it.
Ooh, maybe I'll secretly love it though.
Maybe, but I don't think that you will.
I'll put it in my hate read list. We'll see.
It's not a hate read. It's just...
okay.
Because there are some things about it that are fun, but then there are other things that you're just like, why? Okay. What is a book that you pushed the most people to read this year?
I was pushing on everyone The Refrigerator Monologues by Catherine M. Valenti. So it's basically like a play on the vagina monologues, but it's set in the underworld and it features comic book females who have been fridged in like comic books. It's kind of like retellings of their story. Like there's Jean Grey and Harley Quinn and Mira, Aquaman's wife. And it was just so good. It was so interesting. It was super well written. I think I recommended that to like 15 people. I was like, you included, I think.
I was just going to say, now that you're saying, I completely forgot about that book, but now that you're talking about it, you definitely did recommend that to me. And I definitely said that I was going to read it because it sounded good, but then I completely forgot about it. But when you were just describing it, I was like, that sounds good. And now I want to read it.
It's really good. It's like comic books, feminism, short stories. It's like, it hits everything. And she's just she just writes such beautiful books. So everyone read it. Everyone's watching. Kristen, read it. Everyone read it.
You have to text me to remind me to read it because I will probably forget
You're going to forget the second we stop.
Yeah. So the book that I definitely push the most people to read is a book that isn't even out yet, but it'll be out in a couple of days.
I know what it is.
The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. That was like just the best book, and I'm so happy that other people are going to be able to read it soon and talk about it because I just, oh my gosh, it's so good. I cannot.
It's really mean though, because like you're like, it's so good. And I was like, we have to wait.
I know. I know. I've been talking about it since July.
I'm excited. I think I'm going to read it like the second it's on my list for January already.
It's actually, I'm planning on reading it as my first read of.
Ooh, okay. It comes out that Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I already actually have a finished copy.
Right. I meant for me.
What?
I meant for me.
Yeah.
Comes out.
Well, yeah, it's like 3 or 4 days away, so
close.
And you have to finish those other 2 books so that you can make your goal. So
I know. I'm gonna do it. You watch me.
What was the best series starter that you read this year?
I had so much trouble with this because I did read a lot of amazing first books and series this year, but after much deliberation, I gave it to Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I thought it was really interesting. It was like a really great dark fantasy. I love the world building, and I'm shocked I haven't read the sequel yet, but it's on my list.
Me too. I have to read God's Grave. Mm-hmm. I also read Nevernight, and I really liked it, but I did not choose it for this question. Mm-hmm. I picked The Cruel Prince again.
You couldn't pick that one. You didn't read it.
I know. And then I did like a tie because I feel like The Cruel Prince would be my answer for like so many of these questions. Uh-huh. So the other one that I chose was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor.
That was on my January list.
What?
That's also on my January list because you said it's amazing. I just talked to someone else who was like, you have to read it immediately. So
It's
January.
What was the best sequel that you read this year?
Okay. So I reread one. So I put two. So I reread A Court of Mist and Fury. So I obviously put that. But for books I have not yet read, I put Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. Kristen finally made me read the Raven cycle, and it was really good. And I'm sad I waited this long to read it.
I knew you would love it. It's so like
Oh my God.
such a big Cassie series.
Yeah, I was like, wait, they're looking for a Welsh prince? Like, I should have been reading this for years. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, and all the characters are like weird and eccentric and amazing. Fancy.
I finally got there, though.
Yes. Oh wait, who ended up being your favorite Raven boy overall?
Oh, Ronan, you predicted it.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. When the first book, Cassie was like, oh, I think I like Adam. And I was like, no, you're going to like Ronan.
And then I was like, I think by the end of the book or into book 2, I was like, Adam sucks. I hate Adam. Ronan's my man.
And I love Gansey.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but you know, to each their own.
I love like how he's always described as presidential. I don't know why, but he's definitely like the kind of boy that would have appealed to me when
He's
I was
like a Kennedy type.
The best sequel that I read, I didn't include rereads because then I also probably would have went with the same ones. So I also, for this one, said Lord of Shadows.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a really good sequel. And what about your best series ender?
Okay, so I just finished this month. The Girl Who Raced Fairyland All the Way Home by, again, Catherine M. Valenti. So it's like a children's series. There's 5 books. I really loved the first one. I still loved the next 3, but the first and the last were just so good. It tied everything up. It had like, it was so satisfying.
I only read the first book in that series.
Yeah, I found the second, third, and fourth, I still enjoyed them, but not as much as the first. So like I kind of put off the last one, so I'm really glad I finally finished that series. I'm really happy I did. It kind of tied everything together.
I also chose 2 books for this one. Just cheat a lot, apparently.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I picked A Conjuring of Light by Victoria Schwab.
I have not read that yet.
I really loved that ending. That was actually, a lot of people were kind of split on that one because they felt like it was kind of long, but I loved it so much. And I think that you will too.
Okay. I think she could do no wrong, so I don't see myself, having a problem with it. Did
you see her tweets from like yesterday and today?
No, I've been busy reading.
She just completely scrapped her draft of Vengeful and is starting her from the beginning.
That was on my. I guess that's not coming out 2018 then.
Hey, I don't know. I was like, what?
Did you do that? Are you allowed to do that?
Crazy. I mean, I trust her, so
yeah.
Go for it. But that was crazy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her. And then the other one that I chose is Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han, which is totally different than A Conjuring of Light because it's contemporary. But
more kissing.
Yeah. It's adorable. I just felt like the characters matured so much by the 3rd book, and just like the whole thing just made me smile. It was so cute.
Aw.
Yeah, love it. Who's your favorite new author that you discovered in 2018? 2017. It's not 2018 yet.
I have notes I keep looking at. I wrote a lot down. So I'm gonna have to say Mackenzie Lee, who wrote The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I really enjoyed that book. It was like not like a 5-star for me, but it led me to all her upcoming books, which I'm very excited about. So 2018, she's gonna have Bygone Badass Babes, which is like a book about like badass women from history, like all over the world, which sounds really exciting. It's illustrated. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue sequel, The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. That sounds amazing.
I'm really excited for that one because she was one of my favorite parts of Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue.
Yeah, that sister character. So she's going to get her own book. And then I just found out in 2019 she's writing a Loki young adult, like, queer novel. And I'm very excited about that. So, like, if I hadn't read that book, you know, I never would have been introduced to her. So I had to go with her.
I am also very much looking forward to that Loki novel.
It's going to be so good. I'm just so excited. I have to wait till 2019, but.
Did you read her other book, her Frankenstein retelling?
I did not. What was it? Monstrous something?
I think it's This Monstrous Thing or something.
Yeah, no, I have not.
Me neither, but I'm curious.
It sounds like it would be up my alley, though.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite new author is Holly Black.
Ooh, interesting.
I had never read a Holly Black book before. Yeah, I know. And then I read The Cruel Prince, and I was like, what have I been doing with my life? And I read The Darkest Part of the Forest, and I loved that too. And now this year, I definitely want to read like The Coldest Girl in Cold Town.
Yes, I like that one.
Doll Bones.
Okay, I've heard good things about Doll Bones.
I ordered her first fairy series too, like Teeth and Ironside and another one. And then the Curse Workers trilogy too, I also ordered. So I'm like going to read all of Holly Black's books.
Year of Holly Black in 2018.
Yeah. She's amazing. What's a book that you can't believe you waited until 2017 to read?
So you convinced me to read it, actually. But it's not what you think it's going to be. So for Halloween, I always read scary books, like books with ghosts or something. And then Kristen reminded me that the Bird Box I've had sitting on my shelf forever. Everyone says every year it's like the most amazing horror story, and I have never read it. And I finally picked it up this year, and I'm really glad I did. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I actually really enjoyed it. I read it in like a day.
That's also really funny because I haven't read that book.
Yeah, Kristen's like, oh, I want to start this book, The Bird. I was like, oh my god, I have to read The Bird Box, and I finished it in like a day, and you never.
I heard a couple of other people on YouTube talking about it, so I was like, it sounds really good. And Cassie usually reads like a lot of horror things, so I figured she would know. That's why I asked her.
Yeah. And all I could say was, I don't know, everyone says it's great, but I don't know why I haven't picked it up. Like, I had an ebook copy, I had like a physical copy.
And it's short too.
It is, like less, I don't know, like 200-ish pages.
Mm-hmm. I cannot believe that I did not read Anne of Green Gables before this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Childhood.
I've had my entire life to do so because it was published way before I was born. But I loved it so much, and I'm actually really sad that I wasn't exposed to them when I was a child, because I think that I would have read the whole series in like a week and every single other book that Ellen Montgomery wrote, and I know that it would have been like an all-time favorite. And while it is an all-time favorite now, I just think that if I had read it as a kid, it would have been like even more, you know what I mean?
My mom made me read all them. She was a big Anne of Green Gables fan, so I think my memories of it are not great because I remember her forcing me to read them and like watching all the series. But
this is why we needed the internet to exist when we were young, because you could have told me to read them.
And like my mom's making me read this book series, Anne of Green Gables or something.
What were the shortest and longest books that you read in 2017?
So my longest book was Lord of Shadows at a whopping 720 pages, even though it didn't feel like 720 pages.
Really? It was that long?
My copy said it was I'm looking as if you could see it, the Waterstones version. I'm gonna keep going.
I have to revise my answer now because
I mean that's what Goodreads told me. Wait, do you want me to double check?
Wait, Andrew said someone in the chat wants to know if we can share that spreadsheet, and yes, we can. They just created a 2018 version, so
I've just been copying over the 2016 version.
Oh, really? So I downloaded the 2018 version, and I don't think I like it as much as the 2017 one, so I was considering doing the same thing and just using the 2017 one.
Is the 2017 one different than the 2016 one?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I can't remember what the actual difference is.
Okay. Why don't you share both 2017 and 2018?
I don't know if I can share the 2017 one anymore.
Oh.
But I can definitely share the new one. that just came out.
Wow, I'm like way booby in the shot. Okay, hold on. I'm double checking. Da-da-da. You know what? Because this version has an extra story in the back.
Mm-hmm.
This Lord of Shadows, so I think that's what bumped it up to 720.
What is before that? Like, just go to the end of where making you do all the work here.
$6.99.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's close. I just go off the Goodreads number, like whatever Goodreads tells me.
All right. So I still have to revise my answer because for some reason I thought A Conjuring of Light was my longest one, but that one is 624 pages.
Oh, yeah, no, this one's longer. Technically, the version we read. And my shortest book was Make Trouble by John Waters, which was only 80 pages. It was just basically like an illustrated version of his RISD speech. And I actually went to a book signing. It was really fun.
Oh yeah, I remember your photos from that.
Oh, yeah, where John Waters can't hear or see, and he's like the oldest man in the world, and he writes everyone's names down wrong, but it's amazing because it's John Waters, so it's okay.
Okay, so I just figured out how to look at the live chat on here.
What?
Not on our screens, but I'm looking at it on my phone. So yes, we can share the spreadsheet.
That seems distracting.
Let's see. Had some people who agreed about Someone Inside Your House and An Enchantment of Ravens.
Yeah, and everyone's so talkative today. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you got, there's like
more ladies
in here. This is awesome. Oh, I still have to read One Dark Throne.
Yes, yes.
Catching up on this chat now.
Yes, Three Dark Crowns. I really enjoyed Three Dark Crowns. I didn't think I would, but
we have people who are excited for the cool prints, as you should be. Ooh, the Natural series. I need to read that.
Yes, that looks really good. I think it's all on Book Outlet.
I would do anything for a third book in the of the Long Game and the Fixer series. That second book was so freaking good, and I'm so sad. But I've heard that the Naturals is good, and that's the same author, so I really do want to read that too.
Oh, I had no idea it was the same person.
Yeah,
I just really love those covers. Are so fun.
Yeah, they are. They're fun too, like because. Well, wait, the Naturals ones or the Fixer ones?
The Naturals.
Yeah, those ones are cool. They're both cool, but those ones are the ones that have like the card and there's like the chest piece.
And like a present with like the crime scene tape bow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I'm glad we figured out how to use it. Thanks, Andrew.
This makes me so happy. Well, yeah, he actually texted me and he was like, people in the chat want to know this.
And you're ignoring them, like.
And yes, my bookshelves are from IKEA. I think Andrew's been answering everyone. Thank you.
Wait, guys, I'm going to ask you, how cute is Ginger, though? Leave a message in the chat. How cute is Ginger?
Ginger is very cute.
She's bothering me right now. Right? You're being a pain?
Oh, okay, wait. I didn't. Oh, hi, Jill. I didn't ask. I didn't answer the shortest book that I read yet. I read.
Yeah, no, you did not.
Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. That was my first book.
So excited.
160 pages. But I'm only doing that because I don't count. I read like that short story that takes place, I think, before Lord of Shadows. And that was like 20 something pages.
Yeah, I didn't count short stories. I just counted like physical books.
Yeah, me too.
I had a 6-page like short story for the Girl Circumnavigated Fairyland, which I did not include, which she wrote in response to the Trump election, which I highly recommend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was called The Girl Who Ruled Fairyland for a Little While, and it was like about the Marquess, like before.
Oh,
she took over.
Something else. I remember her. What's the best 2017 debut that you read this year?
I'd like to thank you for this one, Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. I was on her Goodreads. She did publish an ebook, but I'm going to count it because why not? I would not have picked that up if you had not recommended it just because the cover was not my favorite, but I really ended up enjoying it.
I really liked that one too.
And I'm super stoked for anything else she does.
Also, lots of people are saying that Ginger is very cute.
Yes, it's so cute.
I'm fairly certain that Julie announced the title of the next book.
Ooh.
I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head, but it's the one that's going to be told from the Snow White character's point of view. Pretty excited.
I know, but I'm gonna miss my friend, my evil friend.
My best reviews were, I picked two, I cheated again, were The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden.
Ooh, I keep seeing that.
That book was beautiful. It's like very slow burn, but it's really, really good. And the other one that I picked was actually a sci-fi book, and it's This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada.
Is that the one with like it's a red puff of on the cover?
Yeah. It was
red smoke.
So unexpected, and that book had barely been on my radar. And then Simon and Schuster reached out to me and asked if I would consider reviewing it if they sent me a copy. And I read the plot summary, and I was like, wow, that sounds really good. Yes. So they sent it to me, and I loved it so much. And I think that's partly because I love sci-fi, but I love sci-fi that's not necessarily set in space. So it's like a biological thriller, and I love when there's like biological warfare going on, and like there's this corrupt company, and every single chapter ended with a huge like cliffhanger, and there was just tons of shenanigans, and I was constantly like, how are they going to get out of this mess?
Man, I have to add that to my list.
Yeah, it was really, really surprising, really good. What?
I'm adding it right now.
Good.
Even though you're going to ask me a question.
I am, so pay attention. What book had the best world building or the most vivid setting that you read this year?
Okay, so I picked like kind of a strange one. Like I didn't pick a fantasy or anything. I picked a magical realism book called Sourdough by Robin Sloan, who wrote Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. I really didn't think there was any way it could top that because it's about bread and not books. But it was so amazing. It was set in San Francisco, and there's this weird like combo of like food and technology, and there's this kind of strange food market where like robots make bread, and it was amazing. Like if you're not thinking about reading that, read that.
I haven't read that one yet. I got an arc of it at BEA, and it was really funny because he was actually there and he was signing. So I went up to him, like, got it. I told him, like, I loved Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore so much. Like, can't wait to read this. And he was like, thanks. And then he was asking, like, is this the first BEA you've ever been to? And I was like, no, it's like the 5th or something. And he was like, oh, wow. And he's like, I'm so overwhelmed by these, like, teen books, but I'm just not sure. And I was like, that's exactly what I am here for.
And you.
Thank you, Alexa. Alexa said that the title of the second book is Kingdom of the Blazing Phoenix.
That sounds good. I like the title.
Me too. And she also says that you have to read The Bear and the Nightingale, which I fully agree with.
I think my library has it. I'm going to be honest. Because they're like, they said the second one was like the best book of the year, one of their best books of the year. So
really? The second one just came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they're like, it's the best, one of the best books of the year. It was like on one of their lists.
Oh, I have to read that like immediately.
I trust my local librarians, so.
Librarians are very trustworthy people. Okay. Oh, the best world building for me. I keep getting distracted by chat now because this is fun. I am going with A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is funny because I actually felt like the world building in A Court of Wings and Ruin was nowhere near as good as it was in ACOTAR and Akamath. But I think having that like fundamental knowledge already going into it, I was able to like easily get into that world. And it's a world like very different from ours. Whereas like Lord of Shadows had great world building, but it's also like partially taking place in our world. So it wasn't as much of a stretch for me to like get into.
You're laying a lot down for like the novella and the new series and all that.
Yeah. So yeah, I went with Ackleworth for that one. What is a book that made you cry?
Okay, so I don't really do audiobooks, but Kristen introduced me to Overdrive, and it took about 3 months, but I finally got the Hillary Clinton book, What Happened, and I probably just because it reminded me of bad times in the election and things that made me sad. So I cried a lot listening during my commute, driving in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So not your typical cry, but it was more like, what have we done type of cry? Or why did this happen type of cry?
Mine was a very emotional cry. And it was like, I cried as soon as I started reading until I finished reading, and then I was still crying for a while afterward. And that book for me was The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord. I think the reason that it hit me so hard is because in the book, it follows a girl whose mother has cancer, and it went away and then it came back.
And so why would you read that?
I don't know, because you know what? Everyone kept telling me that that it's a really good book and I should read it anyway. And my mom has had cancer and has had cancer go away and come back, and she's still battling it now. So it's just really emotional for me. And like anytime that I read books about a parent with cancer, I usually avoid them because I just can't handle them. But I really do love Emery Lord. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. And I did. And I thought it was such a beautiful book, but it was like, I just could not stop crying for days. Pretty much.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, it was like really, really, really tough for me, but it was really good.
Okay.
Well, that was like, man.
Can't read that one in public.
I did though.
Oh God.
I read on a train on my commute, but Andrew sits on the side of me, so he was like blocking me from other people. So that was good. I love that you guys are saying that you are adding all of these books to your Goodreads. That makes me so happy. What was your hidden gem book of the year?
Okay, so this was really hard because I did read a lot of books that were very like popular, like on a lot of lists. So I don't remember how I stumbled upon it, but I bought it through Store Envy. It's this book called Their Story, The Story You Don't Know. And it's by Hey Nu Li Shin. I brought it out because it's just so beautiful. It's about a girl and like her skeleton lover, and it's about depression and grief. And it's super short because it's like a graphic novel, but with like some prose, and it's just really beautiful. She sells it through her store. It comes with like stickers and pins, and you get like a little short book. It was just very beautiful and unexpected. And everyone should go buy that. Like I said, I got it on Store Envy. It's just so beautiful.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
For me, we actually already talked about it, but I was going to say The Long Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes.
I didn't even know there was a sequel to The Fixer.
Yeah, she wrote, for some reason, she only got a 2-book deal, which kills me because it needs to be 3 books. But the first one was like, the first one I read last year, and I really liked it, but it didn't really like stick with me that much. And then the second one was just like 100 times better. It was so good. And it's so fun too, because it's like a political thriller. So it's definitely something different. You have to like suspend a little bit of disbelief because there's this teenage girl that's like solving things that are going on with the president of the United States, but it's so good.
Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah, like
that's what we're always doing.
Who needs adults?
Solving crimes.
Yeah, I just loved it.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on my list.
What was your favorite Bookish event of the year?
I'm gonna go back to John Waters, just because like I think I paid $20. I got to meet John Waters. He took photos with everyone. He had no idea where he was, and I got the book. So he signed it to Cassie with a K because he couldn't. My friend Colleen's book was to someone who's not Colleen. So I mean, it was just really fun. And then second was Invictus, because obviously you were there.
Yes, I was going to say, you didn't like hang out with me at Invictus.
No, it was just, I really had fun at Invictus, but when are you going to meet John Waters and get to like talk to him, you know?
So mine is like, I'm combining, and BEA is like always one of my favorite things of the year, but this BEA in particular was just my favorite one that I've ever been to.
What, you didn't pick one with me in it?
Sorry, I had so much fun. I hung out with Alexa for the entire time. We made a spreadsheet beforehand of all the events that we wanted to go to, and it was just so nice to like spend so much time with a really good friend. And Also, it was so chill. Like, we got all of the books that we had wanted to get, and we were both like on the same page about a lot of things, and we were both of the mindset that like these books are going to be coming out, so if we don't get something, it won't be the end of the world.
Right.
We're not like those crazy, like, I will fight you for these books kind of people.
Oh, you didn't bring a rolling suitcase with you to BA?
No, we didn't do that. But it was really like everything just went really well. Everything ran really smoothly, and we ended up getting like more than we were expecting to. And we also had some really great experiences. Like, we met Stephanie Garber, and we met Holly Black, and she signed an arc of the Quill Prince for us.
Oh my God, I love her blue hair.
Oh my God, me too. And I love that she got surgery to make it look like she has fairy ears. She's like my hero.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, she got her ears like cut and then sewn back together, so she looks like one of the Fae.
The last time I was actually at LeakyCon, and we were very drunk, and she was hanging out. So she could have had fairy ears. I don't know.
So that, like, just BEA was amazing, including like all of the events that we went to, like the Penguin Breakfast. Are you okay?
Yes, good.
Good. Like the Penguin Breakfast and the Fierce Reads party was really fun. We got to talk to Marissa Meyer for a while.
Ooh, that's fun.
And Lee Bardugo. And I was just like, this is so weird. I'm like drinking with these people that I love. But what else? Oh, and then the other thing that I wanted to mention that was like part of BEA and BookCon, which I consider it part of, but it wasn't, was there was an event at Books of Wonder that we went to with Sarah Dussin, Jenny Han, and Jennifer E. Smith. And I love Jenny Han so much. And this was the first time that I met her, and I like felt like I was gonna cry because
did you burst into tears?
I know I maybe did cry, but I was just so excited to meet them. And it was also really fun because it was Sarah Dussin's birthday. And Jenny Han is the one that moderated it. So she came up with all of these questions that were so different from any other book event that I've ever been to. Like, everything that she asked them was all like wedding related questions, like asking them who their like author bridesmaids would be if they were getting married now, and like what kind of cake they would have, and if they could make their own cocktail, what would it be? Like, it was just really different and really fun. So yeah, those, and it was like the day after BookCon ended, so that's why I just see it all as one giant event.
Yeah, and it kind of extended that fun for a little bit more.
It did, even though I was exhausted, but it was worth it.
At least it was in New York this year.
Yeah, Chicago was rough. What books are you most anticipating for 2018?
Everything. Obviously the Cruel Prince, because you keep talking about it. The Caraval sequel, Legendary. I'm very excited about that. The Illuminae sequel, Obsidio, I think is going to be really good, and it's like the best cover of the entire series, so I'm excited about that. Maureen Johnson has that true crime novel coming out, Truly Devious.
I am pretty excited for that one.
I'm excited for that. I was going to be excited for Vengeful until I found out that it might not be coming out. The new Home for Wayward Children, or the new Wayward Children, Beneath the Sugar Sky. And then I wrote two more down. So there's a gender-bent Beowulf coming out called Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Chicholke.
Yeah, oh, the one that wrote that weird one.
The one that wrote Winged Poppy Midnight, which I was so excited to love and did not love.
I actually don't think I know anyone that ended up liking that book, but the cover is so pretty and it sounded
so beautiful, and I gave it away because that's how much it disappointed me last year. And then there's this book coming out, which I think you would appreciate. It's called Blanca and Roja. It's by Anna Marie Micklemore, and I got a tweet about it, and she described it as Snow White and Rose Red meet Swan Lake with Latina girls and queerness. That's how she described it.
Yes, I am looking forward to that one as well.
So the second I saw that, I was like, Kristen, I think is going to enjoy this with me.
I definitely will. The ones that I wrote down for now off the top of my head are To Kill a Kingdom.
Oh, that looks good.
I'll wait for that one. I already have it, and I had just been waiting until 2018 to read it because it doesn't come out till March, and I wanted to like talk about it more throughout 2018. Also really looking forward to Daughter of the Siren Queen, which is the second book to Daughter of the Pirate King. Really looking forward to the ending of Throne of Glass.
Oh my gosh, that's right. The last book's coming out.
Yeah, we were supposed to get that this year.
This year.
We didn't, so it's coming. Also, a Court of Frost and Starlight.
Yes.
No surprise there. And Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I think she said it's like, it follows the Simon people. It's like a sequel. So
Isn't it about their girlfriend, like the female friend that like Simon and his friend group have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also looking forward to Queen of Air and Darkness because now that is finally coming out in 2018 instead of 2019. Even
I
though
didn't hear that. You just told me that it was getting pushed back.
I know it got pushed back and now it got moved forward. I mean, it's not like coming out that much sooner. It's coming out in December of 2018.
Oh, okay.
But at least it's 2018.
What about
and A Reaper at the Gates? I'm also looking forward to.
I was gonna say, what about the Ember and the Ashes sequel? Is that finally coming out?
That's A Reaper in the Gates, yeah.
It feels like it's been so long.
It has been so long, but I really enjoyed those books, so I'm looking forward to that one. There's definitely more. I made two videos of 20 books that I'm looking forward to just in January, February, and March.
Oh my God.
There's a lot on my list. I feel like 2018 has so many more new releases that I'm looking forward to than I ever have in a year before. It's like
bad for the wallet.
Yeah, very overwhelming, but I'm excited. Name one thing you hope to accomplish in your reading life in 2018.
I'm going to keep it simple. Just read more. There's a lot of days like I come home from work and I do my freelance work and I'm just like, I'm tired and I have a headache and I don't want to read, or I'm overloaded. So at work, I work through my lunch break and I don't get to read. I want to change that. I want to like take a moment to like, you know, breathe and read a little more. And maybe I'll actually hit over 100 next year.
I think that you will.
Yeah.
You always reach 100, so I don't think it's a stretch for you to beat that.
Read 101. 102.
Someone in the chat said that their most anticipated book is The Glass Butterfly by A.G. Howard.
What is that?
About that one, I'm not sure. I want to know more now.
Is it in the Architect of Song series or no?
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. I actually just added the second book in that series to my Amazon cart like a day ago.
Oh, the Hummingbird Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. If
Wait, what was it? The Glass?
The Glass Butterfly. Laura is looking forward to Ash Princess. So am I. We both
that cover is beautiful.
We got that together at New York Comic Con.
Oh, it is. It's the third book in the Haunted Hearts legacy.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I'm excited to read that second one. I didn't realize there was going to be one after that either.
The only reason I haven't read it is because it's set like, isn't it set like 15 years or something like after the first book?
I think so, yeah.
It's like a big time jump. So that's like my hesitation for going right into it.
Yeah. Mine too. That's why I haven't picked it up yet. But then, and also I think initially they were only selling it digitally, and I wanted.
Yeah, they don't have a physical. I couldn't find a physical copy.
Yeah. Now there is one though.
Oh.
I added it to my cart.
Well, my first copy, Ginger knocked a bottle of water onto, so it's not looking too great.
I think that we're going to start wrapping up. So if you guys have any more questions, you can put them in the chat now and we'll get to them. And I'll talk about my reading life goal, which I've actually talked about a little bit already. But for next year, me and Alexa are doing a classics challenge where we are going to be reading one classic per month.
Ooh.
So that is my goal, 1 to 2. But
did you finish Pride and Prejudice?
I read it in November.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
I actually have a lot more Jane Austen that I want to read in 2018 now.
Sense and Sensibility.
Yes, that is one of the earlier ones on my list.
Mm-hmm. I want to read Northanger Abbey too.
Me too, and Emma. And then I'm going to rewatch Clueless. And then
You're not gonna watch Gwyneth Paltrow's Emma?
no, I think I'll pass on that one.
It's not. It's okay.
I forget what I was gonna say.
Classics challenge.
What's that? Oh, everybody like responded to my comments in my goals video and said that they wanted to see my full TBR. So I did film a full TBR, and that will be coming soon. So
for the year?
No, like for classics, because it's easy to pick.
Okay.
So, no, not like everything.
Like what? No, it's impossible.
These are the
How do anyone do that to you?
I'm reading.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just looking through the comments now.
Miss anything?
Oh my god, someone got an arc of 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno, and I am so jealous because I love Katie Cotugno.
Kristen's gonna come to your house and steal it.
Yeah. Holly from Holly Hearts Books is looking forward to Dance of Thieves. That's the new Mary E. Pearson book.
Okay.
It's set in the same
yes, it's set in the same universe as the Remnant Chronicles.
Angela said there's actually going to be 4 books in the A.G. Howard series.
I'm learning so much today.
I know, me too. This is awesome. I'm so happy that we figured out that I could just look at the chat on my phone. That makes the most sense.
Can you imagine Andrew like whispering all of these questions to you?
No. Yeah, I mean, he's right there. He's like very close to me, and he texted me to tell me one of them. But I'm glad that we have this down now.
Yeah.
Holly asked if I have any plans to reread Harry Potter in 2018. And I have been listening to them on audiobook as a reread, and I am on hold at my library for Prisoner of Azkaban, which is my favorite one. But then I will definitely be listening to like the rest of them afterward.
How's the narrator?
So good. I'm listening to the Jim Dale version, but I also want to listen to them again and listen to the Stephen Fry ones.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I've heard good things about his retelling. Let's see. Jill said that someone did an adaptation of Emma, Romola Garai. I don't know how to say that. Jill, I'm going to ask you more about that later. She likes the Gwyneth Paltrow one because it has Ewan McGregor and Alan Cumming.
Oh my god, I forgot Alan Cumming was in 2 Jane Austen adaptations.
Yeah.
It's like he's in 2 Christmas movies.
Yes. Okay, someone asked, does Goodreads give you these stats or do you have to tally them up? So Cassie and I both use this one spreadsheet that, again, I'm going to share in the description of this video so that you guys can download your own version. And it keeps really in-depth stats for you, like so many.
Like even the gender of the authors you're reading.
Yeah, like you don't even need as many stats as it gives you, but it's fun to see at the end of the year. But I do also use Goodreads to get some stats. They will also show you, I think, the longest and shortest book that you read this year.
Yes.
I try to wait, and I don't do the like view my year in book things until the end.
Well, because they give it to you in like November, and you're like, I'm not even close to done yet. What are you doing? It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
That's why I wait on that one. I still have that email.
Yes. Yes.
When I'm ready. Oh, someone's excited for Legendary. So am I, and I keep forgetting to say that. I really loved Caraval. Okay, someone asked, what book did you not read this year that you wished you'd been able to fit in?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with hold on, it's escaping my brain. I have it on hold at the library. You go first.
Let me think. I mean, there are so many books that I would have.
I know.
Because I feel like, I mean, there's just so many on my shelves that I haven't read yet that I need to. And but what's the number one? Maybe God's Grave, because I really liked Nevernight a lot. I would say probably God's Grave, or I'm like looking for for choices back here.
I got mine, but you finish.
What is it?
I said I found mine, but you finish.
Oh, I think a second one would be Scythe by Neil Shusterman.
Yes, that's on my list too, because the sequel's coming out in January.
It is, and I just found out that he's doing an event at Books of Wonder, so now I want to read it before that event. And Wild Beauty. I also really wanted to read Wild Beauty. And
there's another book coming out that sounds really good, but I forget what it is now. Sorry, everybody.
Wait, of whose? Of
The Wild Beauty author has like another really good sending book coming out.
Oh, that's the one that Alexa said she's looking forward to. I thought she's writing the Snow White and Rose Red one.
Oh,
that's yeah.
That was it. I was like, why do I have this screenshot of an author I don't know? I know her.
Yeah.
You don't know her personally. You know what I mean?
Actually, I met her at BEA, and she.
Oh. Okay, yeah. So this is what I have on hold from the library because I missed all them this year. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. That's just getting rave reviews, so I'm really sad I missed that. I'm like the 20th person on hold at the library. And also Exit West, which didn't really hit my radar until I found out it was kind of like about hopping through other universes, which I had no idea based on the cover, so I'm definitely
I read that.
What?
I read that.
Was it good?
It was good.
Okay.
It was, yeah, it's like kind of like a portal fantasy, but it doesn't focus on that, like the magic part of it at all. It's just like kind of like you just accept that they go through these doors. It's very sad.
With what?
It's very sad.
Oh. Well, I'm still excited.
Yeah, but it's good. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I was going through all like the best of 2017 lists and being like, what did I miss? So all yesterday, Chris and I were talking about Lincoln and the Bardo and how I should probably read it because no one told me it was about ghosts.
That one is very literary.
I'm ready. Again, I'm like 25th in line, so I have time to prepare.
Yeah. Gosh, I feel like I was gonna say another book that came to my mind, but oh well. I don't know. Isabella, yes, I would love for you to tell me how to request the Katie Cotugno book. Kayla, the Wicked Deep does sound really good. That one is on my list too.
So many witch books coming out. The Curses is coming out, which is a sequel to The Eves. The Eves. It's The Graces. It's right behind me. I don't know why I said that.
Oh yeah, that's coming out really soon. It's January, right?
Yep.
I'm excited for that too.
Oh, should we do another book? No, we're not doing that. I was gonna say, remember how drunk I was for the Graces book club?
That was a really fun book club.
Yeah, because I pre-gamed for like 6 hours at brunch.
You did.
And then went to another bar after brunch.
Lady McCrystal is also listening to the Jim Dale Harry Potter audiobooks, and so is Laura. And you're welcome for answering your question. Oh, Alexis says that we should mention My Lady Jane. Yes, I meant to read My Lady Jane, and I didn't read that in 2017, and I have to. I always forget about it.
I know. It was by one of the ladies who wrote our terrible, fun Christmas book this year, The Afterlife of Holly Chase.
Yes, we both loved that one.
Everyone hated that book, but Kristen and I went in going, this book is going to be the stupidest book, and we loved it because we knew it was going to be dumb and the worst, and we loved it for that. Sometimes you have to read a dumb book.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes you're just like, man, I could just use a real dumb book right now that'll take me like no time at all to read because it's going to be dumb, and I'm going to love every dumb second of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all that we are going to cover. This was like a really fun show to do because we weren't just focusing on one book, so there were a lot more people that could participate. And we've also figured out the chat, so we're going to be starting off 2018 on the chat.
Did you want to talk about our January books?
I did.
Or book? We never decided. I'm fine with books, plural.
Yeah, we'll text about that later because the other one comes out at the end of the month. So I was thinking that maybe we should do that one for February.
That's a good idea. So let's do January.
Please hold.
We only did 7. I realized we only did 7 book clubs in 2017.
Yeah, we slacked
on a big gap
for a while, and we are sorry, but we're coming back.
We didn't forget. We're just lives. Busy.
Yeah. Okay, so for those who couldn't already figure it out, in January, we're going to be talking about The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you read it and join us because it's going to be a really fun show, and I cannot wait to get live updates from Cassie as she reads it. Me and Alexa are rereading it as our first reads of the year, and my friend Jane already reread it too. Like, it's just so good. It's that good that it's not even out and people are already rereading it. So yeah, we have not yet figured out the date for that, but we will definitely keep you guys updated once we know.
Yeah, it comes out super early, so it won't be like an issue of timing or anything.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So
did we do all the questions in the chat?
We did. We did like all the questions, and that was really fun. Thank you guys so much for participating. That made it so much more fun.
Yeah. I could see why this would be more participatory than like a normal book club.
Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, Cassie, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online?
Okay, so I'm everywhere under Yerkmonger. That is YRCHMONGER. I am on mostly Goodreads these days with a side of Instagram. I'm going to try to get better. It's kind of hard to take Instagram photos when it's pitch black out when you get home from work.
Yeah.
And you can go to my Twitter, but I mostly complain about, you know, the political landscape, so maybe steer away from that. Or you can find me on my book blog, Bibliomantics, where I'm soon going to be posting every December and end of year and 2018 wrap up ever.
I can't wait to read those.
I have like a list, and I was like, oh my God, how did it pile up? Like, it happens at the end of every year. It just piles up.
It does. Those are always the most fun posts to do, though, and to read.
I know. I'm like, oh, I forgot I read this book in January of last year. How did I forget? It was amazing.
You can find me here on my YouTube channel. I'm also on Twitter at SuperSpaceChick, and I am trying to use it more, and I have successfully procrastinated reading, and I scrolled my feed like the last couple of days. So yeah. There's that. I also love Instagram, which I'm also at SuperSpaceChick, and I take a lot of book photos and stuff.
Kristen has the most beautiful Instagram. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And yeah, and I'm on Goodreads too. And we have a 4-hour book club that we have been a little bit better about updating, but we'll be the best about updating it now that we're like getting things really on track here. So yeah. That is actually linked below, so you guys can probably find that already. And I will not forget to add that spreadsheet down there. And I think that's everything. So we hope that you guys have a really happy new year, and we'll see you in 2018.
Bye.
Bye.